This show is a Phonic Media production.
Hey, friend. Welcome back to the Business Manage podcast. In this episode, we're talking about time management. This one could get heated.
Woo!
If you're watching, hello friend. If you're listening to this podcast, you can actually watch it live on YouTube as well.
And you can see us dancing to the overture.
Yeah.
The overture.
The overture.
No, is that a bit
Fucking hell,
old
is it an opera? Hello.
Overture.
Welcome to Business Marriage, I wouldn't say the number one non-celebrity podcast.
We can say that.
Fuck
It's
it.
not, but yeah.
The number one non-celebrity couple podcast. Well, who else is out there doing it that's not a celebrity? No one. Fucking every celebrity's got one.
I know.
But we are nobodies at the moment.
Yeah.
That all might change though. Big news to come shortly about Business Marriage Live.
Oh, God.
Live.
Are we doing that?
We're actually going to do it.
Can I share something as well?
Please do.
So I'm a little bit...
A little bit of country.
I'm not
a little bit of
necessarily-
rock and roll.
Shut up. So I'm not religious,
I'm trying to be funny.
but you're not. We'll move on to that in a minute.
Okay.
I'm a little bit spiritual, I guess, and I believe, like the universe, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And so I'm a little bit a believer in like things that happen for a reason.
You believe things happen? Well, things do happen.
No,
don't
that
they?
things happen for a reason.
Fine.
Like the universe is watching us, law of attraction. So the other day, we never watched mainstream telly, and I saw
you
an
still
advert.
banging on about this?
So I saw an
Fucking
advert,
hell.
and it was Tom Allen, who actually his mum and dad live very close to us. And I saw an advert that he was hosting the Comedy Awards, and I said, "Oh, James, we should watch this. This looks quite fun." And James was like, "Oh, I think I drove past their house, and they're obviously having
having
a watch party.
They live on our street, don't they?
So I was like, "Okay, let's watch it." Anyway, we're eating our dinner, and I was like, "Oh, it's 9:15. We're missing it. Let's put it on."
You can't make this up, guys.
Do you know what happened?
Tell me.
Seriously.
Go on. I've got
So
a
we
drum
put it
roll ready.
on.
Yep.
We'd missed, 15 minutes, and the
Yep.
first award that we sat down and we watched, it was Best Comedy Podcast.
Fuck, you can't make it up.
I could not believe it.
Cannot make it
And
up.
one of our absolute
Were we nominated?
legends, we were nominated.
Oh, okay.
But Shag Married Annoyed won it, and I was like, how weird that we happened to be sat here watching, and I said, next year, guys, we're going to be winning that podcast.
I like it. Could you do me two favours?
Stop shouting.
Number one, stop shouting. Number two, stop fucking banging the desk.
Sorry, yeah, I got a bit
Oh,
overexcited.
you did, didn't you? You got a little bit aggressive there. What you're actually talking about there, I don't want to get into the science of it, but it's called the reticular activation system. You find more of what you're looking for. And people are like, oh, yeah, manifestation is a thing, but you're looking for reasons.
Disagree.
You can't disagree. It's actually science.
I don't know. I just think
okay.
weird.
Don't think about a purple
Weird
elephant.
though, innit?
What are you thinking about?
Weird.
A purple
Pink elephant.
Fucking hell. Guys, we've got some. Before we get into today's main part of the episode, we've got a shout out. We've had loads of shout outs. We've had so much support for the show.
so many.
Honestly, it's nuts. Thank you. Genuinely from the bottom of our heart.
I'm reading this out though because it's so old fashioned, but somehow going into the email inbox and seeing that someone's taken the time
Yes.
to message us, I'm like,
Very
I've got
cool.
to shout out Adam Pickett. So Adam Pickett is
Adam!
someone that we knew back in our repping days.
I
with
know some
Thomas
stories
Cook.
about Adam Pickett.
Yeah,
let me tell you.
I'm sure James and Adam have got some fun stories. But Adam chose share the love section because if you want to share the love, which is, sharing the love with, someone you care about or someone you work with. But in this case, Adam is sharing the love right back at us.
Can't believe it.
Cannot believe it.
Shared the love all over the gaff.
He wrote, brilliant guys. It's so funny that the stuff that happens daily in my life happens to you and plenty of others. And in
I
life,
knew it wasn't just us. I just
I
knew
know.
it.
And in life, we don't really talk about it. And I find myself saying to the missus, you see, it's not only us, and laughing so hard as Hayley is so brutal and honest. It's brilliant. Can't wait for episode 3. Well done, guys. Keep up the great work.
Awesome stuff for you. You are reading that out on episode 4. So good work on the continuity there.
Should I take that out?
No, don't worry about it. How you gonna, what's that?
I was like, pissing it out.
There's
Yeah, we're
also,
a week-
guys,
we're a week ahead.
we've had a big realisation with this podcast.
Big.
In fact, we've had a couple of realisations.
Phew.
We've had.
Well, you've had more than me.
I've had-
I kind of always knew, but we'll go with it. We'll go with it.
So number one, I've had amazing feedback about the podcast, but the most common thing I keep hearing is how funny Hayley is.
I mean, come on, guys.
I actually had somebody who is on the TV a lot, He's like a talking head on TV. He does a lot
Just
of
a
presenting
talking
stuff.
head?
Just floated. That's what they call it.
talking head.
That's what they call it.
All right.
But he goes on. He does a lot of TV stuff. He presents a lot of TV stuff. And I met him for a meeting. And that's what you do when you meet. You meet for a meeting, don't
Yeah.
you? And he turned around and went, "Your wife is fucking hilarious. Like she's a star. She's
Who
absolutely
knew,
hilarious."
James?
I had no idea.
Who actually knew?
So and everyone was expecting me to be the funnier one.
Because you are hilarious.
Because I am hilarious,
So
but it
fun.
turns out I'm actually not the funniest one.
No.
So to counteract that, in this week's episode, I've actually got a series of dad jokes.
Oh,
So
you're
at certain points during the show, I might just hopefully won't get crickets. Hopefully, it's going to get some applause or maybe even a lull.
Oh my God.
But yeah, just for the sake of
Really? You're that
Yeah.
scraping the barrel
Yeah.
that have you written these or have you printed these off?
So randomly, you might hear this jingle, and I'm just going to play this. I'm just going to do a dad joke. So I'm going to try this out on you, so we can level out.
See if I laugh.
Would you call a fat psychic?
Psychic?
I know you know a few
Oh,
personally.
God, we have to go in the psychic world.
Would you call a fat psychic?
I have no idea.
A fortune teller. Who's not having a good time?
Actually-
Come on now.
That's actually quite funny.
Come
I used to work in the psychic
Come on now.
arena.
with the psychic who used to be rather large, who's now big in the game but not big in herself.
No, yes.
Oh my
we
God.
won't go there.
The less said about that, the better. Based on what
Does
we've
it
seen this
hurt
week.
though to feel that every road you turn, someone's like, your wife is amazing? How does it feel knowing that I'm the glue that is holding this together?
I like it.
Do you?
I genuinely
Do
like
you?
it. Yeah, I think I've always thought you're funny.
Oh, it feels a bit.
I've always thought you were funny.
Yeah?
I'm slightly worried about your ego because you can, it's like a couple of people said you're funny, and now all of a sudden you're watching the comedy awards and going, it's the universe.
To be fair,
it's the universe.
To be fair with me, I am so grounded.
fair with me.
It's hard to get up most days. I would say that it's not ego. I'm just sarcastic. So I'm just playing. I'm having a banter with you. Because I always knew
At
that I was
40, you
probably
shouldn't say
funnier.
bants, just so you know.
No, probably not.
The other
Yeah.
big realisation of this podcast, because we
Ooh,
need to get
this
into
is
it.
a big-
This is a big one, guys.
Ooh, this one hurt, didn't it, James?
I didn't realise this.
Can I just give some context?
Go on then.
That you came to this realisation on your own.
Yeah, but assisted by other people. So there I was, watching the podcast, watching it back to check on the quality of the content. I was enjoying it. We're 5 minutes in, there's a little bit of bants. There's a little bit of sexual innuendo. 6 minutes in, there's another sexual innuendo. 7 minutes in, there's another sexual innuendo. I'm basically like a horny little teenager.
Yeah, creepy.
It was do you know what it is? And I've worked out because I nearly did it again today, right? So now, for the purpose of this episode, if there's any like lechy, leery,
I'm going to call you Lechy Len.
Lechy
Sorry
Len,
if there's any Lens
if that
out there.
happens, you'll hear
Warning.
There's a perv alert.
Perv alert. I love
This is
it.
the perv alert. So if I say anything to you about the pervert, like in a sexual innuendo way, then you'll hear that warning sign. So for example, if I start, or I talk about your big, and I talk about things like I loving your, all those sort of things.
You did not just say that.
Yeah, but you can't hear it because I've pressed the button. So
That
that's
is
fine.
so rude.
So if I talk about any of those things, especially your fantastic pair. So if I do anything like that, then you might hear the warning alarm.
Look.
But I've worked out what it is because it happened again this morning.
Oh,
do you know what it? Do you know what it is?
James? Tell me.
Oh, I'm good at
Because it's obviously going to be something that I do.
Well, it's not that you
right.
you
Yeah,
don't
go on.
accidentally do it. It's because it's the only time you put lipstick on.
Oh.
See, it's literally the only time you make an effort. Normally, you look like you've been dragged
You know
through that
what?
hedge backwards.
That has made you sound so much worse.
Why?
Because I put lipstick on.
Yeah, because you like make an effort. Because normally, like you said, like you're so laid back, it's normally difficult to get out of bed.
That was
Normally,
a
it looks
joke.
like you have. Well, normally you look like you've been
What's he
dragged through a
saying? I
hedge
have to wear
backwards.
makeup, James?
Oh God, here we
Is
go.
that what we're saying now? I've got to wear makeup to look
I'm
good
not-
each day.
No, I'm not saying
I'm not
that.
a natural beauty.
You just. I'm not saying that.
Outrageous.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying that.
Shut up, Lechy Len.
You can't polish a turd. You can
Shut
cover
up.
it in glitter or makeup. It turns out.
To be fair,
Anyway.
I don't normally wear lipstick. I don't even know why I've got lipstick on because I wear it and I'm like, I feel like a
It's gone
like
quite
a
dry.
vampire. It's gone dry.
You've got like dusty lips. It was sexy for about 2 minutes. That's
Give me
that.
some lip gloss.
Anyway, today on the podcast, have we got that? We got that all out of the way.
Yeah.
We're all good to go. Okay, cool.
I'm the funny one.
You are the funny one. It turns out. In fact, I've got another dad joke for you just to double check.
Oh,
My wife
God.
asked me to stop singing Wonderwall to her. I said maybe.
I love
Come
it.
on, who's not having a good time? Right,
Yeah.
crack on. Time management. Let's
Okay,
go.
let's
So
go.
today on the podcast, we like to have a laugh. We like to have a giggle, but we also like to That was weird.
That's me
We
laughing.
also like to talk about what's going on in life and business and all that kind of stuff, and maybe some of the lessons that we're learning along the way. We are not the finished article. We're not the polished end result.
Absolutely
Far
not.
from it. But we're learning some lessons.
We are.
We're learning some lessons. So today we're going to talk all about time management and why time management is so important. Because if you don't get your time right, you can achieve nothing in your life. That's Countdown, by the way. If you're not listening in the UK, you might be like, what the fuck is that jingle? It's Countdown. Do you know Countdown's back?
Is it?
Yeah, it was that guy, wasn't it? Richard Whiteley and Carol
right.
Vorderman. Have you seen Vorderman recently?
Yeah, she's
Still a
she's
rocket,
changed
but
bit.
she has
Yeah.
had some assistance.
Well,
and
maybe she feels like she needs to wear lipstick just to
okay.
be, you know.
I'm going to let you cool down after that.
All right.
It's Anne, what's her name? The one who used to do Weakest Link.
Oh, and
Widdicombe. Not Widdicombe. The other one. Annie.
what is her name? That's really
I was going to say
annoying.
Fanny
Anne
Annie.
Robinson.
But there you go. Yeah, Anne Robertson. There you go.
So, we're going to go into business.
Let's go to business.
Let's do this.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, we need a jingle for
we
the business
do.
bit.
I
don't
know,
we?
I
Sorry,
was
I've
waiting
not-
like...
Sorry. Let's talk about business, time management, time management, fucking business. Oh, it doesn't end there.
How's your
Fucking
time?
business. Fucking business time.
Do we need to swear, James? I feel like, as well, I've had so many people going, oh, I listened to your podcast. I was in the car with the kids and I put it on. And
Do you not listen with your kids?
Quite quickly turned it off. I'm like, do not listen to this with children.
Someone messaged me and said, I've had to spend half an hour explaining the word wanker.
We didn't say that, did we?
I don't think we did, so that might be on them rather than us.
Yeah,
But
I
if we
don't
did,
know.
sorry about that.
Apologies, but it is
Apologise.
explicit. Do not listen with children. So time management. Okay, this is a massive thing for me. I'm not going to say horrendous.
Just say horrendous.
I
You're
am pretty
fucking
bad.
horrendous at it.
I am. So let's break that down a bit. So
Break it down.
obviously with my business, it's just me at the minute. It's just me. But I have this knack of, I'm trying to do it where, so I've been working a lot over the last 2 years to really fine tune what I offer. So I have like package offerings. In the
Here comes the sales
idea
pitch
that
again.
it's,
Here it comes again.
not
Go to
sales
orangelamb.co.uk. Jesus Christ, bring your credit card.
Jesus Christ is not my domain name. Can we just make that clear? It's orangelamb.co.uk. Anyway, moving on.
Click the link in the show notes for the subconscious upsell.
So I've been working hard to come up with packages in the idea that I know how long a package would take to do a brand package, how long it takes to do my monthly retainers, etc. But what happens is people that I've worked with, maybe I haven't worked with them for a while, but they'll come to me and they'll be like, oh, can you just do this? I just need, I don't know, like this leaflet or a poster. And what do? I drop everything. And I'm like, yes, of course I can. Of course I'll do that. And then I just jump on it and I do it. So I'm very reactive. And then what happens is the kind of work, the projects that I was working on kind of just get pushed back a little bit. And I jump on to kind of get this work, turn around quickly. I guess it's to make them happy, I'm not even thinking about the money. It's generally like, they need this and I want to offer it.
You're
and
a
here you
people
go.
pleaser, aren't you? You
But
are an
really,
absolute people pleaser.
I was having a session yesterday with my coach, Lucy and Shakir.
Bloody hell,
Shout out
she
again.
gets.
I know, she's going to get a lot of mentions.
have to start getting some, paying us some commission, man, honestly.
But it was
Very
like,
good coach, though.
it's just become clear that sometimes I'm not even asking the question, like, when is the deadline for this piece of work? I'm just like, yes, I will do it. And like that night I'm up
But you always.
getting it done.
Doing what? Being a zombie pianist.
Looking like a Thunderbird. That was supposed to be typing. But
What are you typing there?
I have no idea. Don't bang the table.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's my bad.
God.
But you link speed to quality. That's what I tell myself. Hang on. I nearly did it.
Let you live.
I nearly did it. I nearly did it. I nearly did it. I nearly
Speed
talked
to
about it.
quality.
At least I hope you do.
You're happy that I link speed to quality in that way.
It's lucky, isn't it? But you've always done that. You're like, the quicker that you do it.
This is just going to be a constant
I know.
podcast. Yeah, but I don't know why. And I'm trying to work out where it comes from. Oh, God.
Where it comes from? Oh, God, stop. Oh, I've got the giggles now, though. Now I find it funny.
I need a wee. What happens if you need a wee during a podcast?
You have to hold it in or wet yourself.
Brilliant. Might see
Don't
this
laugh.
live.
Don't laugh too
Live
hard.
wetting yourself. So yeah, it's a massive thing.
But you keep working on this, but you keep walking yourself in the same circle.
I know. I'm so annoyed at myself, and then I get told
But
like
it's constant. Like it's the one thing you haven't been able to change over 2 years.
I know.
Like your packaging, like let's talk about the journey that you've been on because it's quite incredible, to be fair, the changes. Back at, if somebody had come on board as your client, sorry, my stomach is going absolutely berserk.
Sometimes as well you don't actually finish what you're saying.
I know, Sam in the office tells me off for that all the time.
You sort of just like cut off halfway through a sentence and I'm like, is it that your brain isn't attaching to your mouth in time? I don't know.
So have you had a couple of compliments and now all of a sudden your shit doesn't stink? Is that what's happened there? You can't wait.
Please
do
don't
not
make me
wee on that
laugh.
chair because that's material.
Material. It'd be,
that was soak up. That was soak up like a piss sponge.
Oh, no,
disgusting.
Actually, I've got faux leather trousers on, so it would actually just trickle
just
down.
Stop. Disgusting. But over the last couple of years, you've package with you back in the package you back in the day would have cost like 750 quid, and now your package you've got a whole brand pack. Fucking hell, now I'm doing the selling for it. But whole package including consultancy, website and site. Go to orangelab.co.uk to help.
Oh God,
it's so good, guys. It's so good. Actually, it's very good, to be fair. But that's still like 4,000 quid.
Yeah, 4.5.
You've now fucking hell. You've now like 5x'd your prices, and you've been on a real journey of your perception of your own value in that time.
But also with that, I didn't just go, oh, it used to be
Lucky
this.
I wasn't finished. So.
You're not finished.
No, I'm done. Whatever.
You're boring, mate. But I just wanted to say, I haven't just gone, oh, there's that, and I've like quadrupled the price. I've basically, on my development of my business, realised where my expertise is, in that it's not just doing a logo, it's like actually from brand conception all the way through, and to make it all coherent. But yeah,
Have
time
you swallowed
management
a business
is still
dictionary this
a
morning?
massive thing, and I get told to like block out my week. Like, do you remember when you used to go to school and you go to like subjects? It'd be like 2 hours of maths, an hour of arts, almost
It's
like
how
that.
the world works, yeah.
Which seems almost like crazy, but as you know as well, and anyone who's running a business, if you don't put in your diary like, oh, I'm going to spend an hour writing marketing copy, for example, or I'm going to spend 2 hours working on the business, that might be planning, I don't know, KPIs, all that kind of stuff. Like, you are not going to do it because time gets busy, and then all of a sudden those things don't get done. But actually they're fundamental. So like, I work with people and tell them to put out amazing content, and being completely transparent, I'm absolutely cack because I put everything else first as a priority.
Yeah, your client stuff looks banging, and then they're like, oh, who's done this stuff? And you're like, that person. So
I'm like, this is crazy. So like, we've been really frustrated this week, and it all comes down to time management. So anyone running a business, whatever level, I think time management is probably a key area for anyone to improve on. So like for me, the things that I'm trying to do, like I say, is schedule my time, whereas I put it in. And as hard as it is, look, urgent things come up. I'm not saying that isn't the case, but as hard as it is, like, I find sometimes doing this might be a bit more fun. It might just be a bit more creative, but actually, and then this job that really needs to get done, maybe I'm onto the kind of the more like, what do I call it? The nuts and bolts. So like the stuff that's not as pretty and glamorous, but it's the stuff that needs to get done. So it's easy to suddenly go, oh, actually, I'll do that because then that gets off my plate. But actually, if I finish that cognitively, it's better, because what I do is, I don't know if anyone else can relate to this, and I don't know if it's a female thing, I don't know, but every little thing I have to do becomes like these little like thoughts in my head, and all of a sudden I have this like cloud of just all this stuff that I have to do, whereas I bet you have like a very methodical list of like, I do this, then that's done, then I move on, whereas I'm just like, ugh.
But if I haven't got the list, then I freak out.
Yeah, so I have a bullet journal, okay, but that becomes literally me writing down a list of things that I've got to get done that day. And then I have ClickUp where I write down tasks that I've got to get done. But what I'm not very good at doing is actually going, okay, well, this is how I'm going to block out my week this week. So I know I've got to get this project done. Do you see what I mean? So yesterday, I got told this is how bad I am now, that I have to actually message my coach, but at the end of each day, what I've done with my day, and I have to time track, and I have to write what's proactive and what's reactive. And it's funny because I've done
you?
I've done time tracking before, and I just
No, you fucking haven't.
No, I have.
You've done it for about half an hour.
No, I can show you. I did it for a few weeks and I had a spreadsheet. But the thing is with me, I just find those kind of habits. I'm not very good at
you lie to yourself
habits,
as well.
Yeah, and I probably lie like, oh yeah.
That only took 15 minutes, 4 hours later.
But yes, because my coach said you've got to do this, I was like, right, I've got to do it, and I did, and I sat there and I wrote it, and because of that as well, I thought, well, actually, I've got this bigger project to go on. I went back to all my clients that had like smaller projects and got a definitive date of when they needed it. So I was like, oh, actually. Whereas I thought I had 3 things I had to get done this week, they don't need to be done until like 2-3 weeks' time. So that was like a massive step for me. But because I had someone who kicked my butt and was like, right, write it down. And it made me focus on like the task. And also it made me realise how 20 minutes can just go in a flash when something just like reactively gets thrown into you. So like yesterday it was actually to do with the podcast. We had to create a graphic. But it just takes your mind somewhere else. And all of a sudden, it might have taken 5 minutes, but it's 20 minutes before you're getting back into what you were doing.
Well, they talk about flow state, don't they? And again, whether you sort of believe in that stuff, I think there's some validity to it. But when you're doing a task and you're in the zone of doing that thing, if something distracts you or distracts your attention, then I'm sure it's something like 27 minutes to get back into the flow state of actually being fully focused. Yeah. So for every distraction you get, every ping and ding, every notification.
Ping and ding?
Every ping, hello. Every ping and every like notification, every email. Because I know exactly what you're like. You will open your laptop with the best of intentions. You've done your bullet journal. You've set yourself up for the day. You've got your little cup of tea. You're ready to go and take on the world. Or a big cup of tea. You're ready to take on the world. You open your laptop. You go onto Gmail. Ping, client request. Oh, I've got to do that first.
Yeah, I do. That's exactly what I do.
And like you say, you try and knock stuff off your list quickly, but then it actually just adds onto your cognitive
Do you not open
mass.
emails then, like first, or you do? Do you have
I do,
time?
but I'll ignore them.
Oh, right. That's great.
I do, but I ignore them. So if you're one
do
of my
you have
clients...
any like time management like challenges?
Well, actually, I've got a twice annual waste of time that I've been involved in that I've just shut down. Not a waste of time, but no, one of the things that I've had a couple of really interesting lessons over the last couple. But sorry, just to finish off your point, if you're going to, and if you're listening to this and you're going, oh, my time management isn't where I need it to be, the easiest person to bullshit is yourself. Facts will tell you where you're actually spending your time. So if you're not getting to the end of your to-do list every day, if you're not getting to the end of your to-do list at the end of the week, if you're not hitting your targets for the month of the stuff that you've got to do, then here is how you manage your time. First off, you have to measure it, because what gets measured gets managed.
Oh, I like it.
Fucking hell, that was good, wasn't it? What gets managed gets measured. Oh, I fucked up that time. I fucked up. Anyway, so what you need to do for a week, this is a good pal of mine, Gary Dass, makes all of his consultants
Shout
do
out
this.
to Gary Dass.
Shout out Gary Dass. He won't listen to this. He'll hate this sort of thing. He's not a fan of the banter. He's a serious geezer. Okay. But he makes all of his consultants track every 15 minutes for a week.
Wow. Yeah.
And they have to literally have a spreadsheet open and say what they did in that 15 minutes. And they have to have a timer. So every 15 minutes... you're getting a notification to write it down. Now, going back to the point we made a minute ago of like distracting your time, and obviously that might knock you back out of flow. That's just the hit you're going to have to take for that 1 week. But it will actually show you where you're spending your time.
Okay, I'm going to do it.
And then what you need to do, Brian Tracy said this, you need to have A tasks, B tasks, and C tasks. A task have to get done for fear of death.
Right.
Anything that's not like immediate, urgent, and important becomes a B task. And you do that after. Yeah. Anything that's a C task, you fucking give that to somebody else to do.
Oh, wow. What if
so
you don't have
only work on A and B, then one of your A tasks is to find somebody else to give the C task to.
Okay, you shut me up there, didn't you, James?
Shut me up, didn't I?
Wow.
Hey?
God, you just got it all. You got it all mapped out.
I got it all figured out, haven't I? I'm a pretty.
There's wires under the table.
Why do you keep playing footsie with me?
See,
this is the thing.
Can
so you can't see under here, but she keeps playing footsie with me. Again, give me the wrong idea, insinuating.
Anyway, time management for you.
Time management for me. So in the last couple of weeks, I've had a client who I spent a disproportionate amount of time with because they were quite a high paying client. I was helping them and supporting them. We were bringing on board and doing more services. All of a sudden last week, that plug got pulled. So I was like, okay, interesting how much time I've allocated towards this, how much time I spent putting stuff in place, how many services this client said that they wanted. So we'd actually built out an offering around it for them to then pull it on us.
You are someone as well and not in a bad way.
Here we go.
But no. But sometimes when you see, like, if I said to you, oh, I'm going to do this for like a fraction of the price because, you know, I think it would be really good for me to learn it or to do it or to work with this person, you would be the first one to be like, well, I don't think you should be like, you know.
I didn't charge a fraction of the price. I charged full rate.
Fair enough.
Anything else you want to say?
But it's the price, it's the time.
But you have to put the time in when you've got a new service or an offer. You have to put the time into doing it.
Sometimes you do give away a lot of time when you really hadn't accounted.
No, that is fair.
How much of your time it took, and you're probably massively out of pocket.
On the flip side of that, there's been 2 examples again this week. There's been one where a big project came to us, or a big potential project. By the time this goes out, we'll know whether we've won it or not, but it's potentially like a 6-figure deal, which is fucking big in the game, man. That'll be the biggest project that we've ever taken on as an agency, and it's for a very big well-known client, and it gets our foot in the door with a lot of big people. It's kind of different, just like a different level of client. We've had to go and tender for it and all that kind of stuff. But last week, for example, me and my audio editor Sam, shout out to Sam, we always shout Sam out, he's just Sam. A flipping legend, but we went down to I can't give it away. We went down to the location of the place, and Sam actually went down for the whole day. Ended up going on a tour around this place like a punter. Didn't tell anyone what he was there to do. He got talking to other people.
Chalking or talking?
Chalking. He got chalky talking to other people. He then ended up like in the cafe having a chat with a couple of people also on the tour. And that, for example, that was me and him out for the entire day. It's taken me 2 or 3 days to put this pitch together. He's now recording at the time that we're recording this. He's actually editing a piece of audio to go alongside the pitch to make it stand out from everything else that's going to get put out there. So again, you can look at that and go, God, that's a big investment in time, but that seems like a worthy investment in time. Yeah. Now, what you have to understand when you run a business, if you're a small business, an SME, an entrepreneur, solopreneur, whatever it may be, whether you've got a team or whether you're by yourself, there are certain things that are going to be punts for the bigger long-term gain.
Yeah.
That is like this pitch that's taken us about a week to put together. That's a punt.
Yeah.
Might turn into absolutely nothing. Frankly, the organisation, given how big it is, they might already have the ideal person that they want
and they're just doing it because they have to do it.
Yeah, exactly, to tick a box. You know, they've got an incumbent agency who's already doing it. They might say they're doing a good enough job. Why upset the apple cart? How many other analogies can I come up with in one sentence?
Upset the apple cart?
Upset the apple cart?
Yeah, what does that mean?
It means like knocking apples off, doesn't it? It means making something unsteady, I think. Okay. Anyway, back to the point. But so this is a week-long punt, and it's been my time and half of Sam's time. So really, cost-wise, you know, if we don't get it, it's probably in terms of time, it's cost us a couple of 2,000 or 3,000 quid to put in the pitch for it, if that makes sense. But that's worth doing.
Yeah.
What's not worth doing, to your point, is spending days and days and days with a client to get them to a point where they're going to do something for them to pull the plug.
Yeah.
Like that is a bit of a bad use of time. But there's there's a difference between managing your day-to-day time. That's the bit that you're sort of stuck on at the moment. And there's the difference between that and then pitching for bigger stuff or investing the time.
Yeah.
I think there's spending time and investing time.
Oh, I like it.
And you have to know the difference between the two.
I like it.
Anyway, right, it's now time for this week's Small Business Shout Out. Ooh. It's a small business shout out. Who we gonna shout out with the small business shout out? Who's it gonna be this week? Da. So this week's small business shout, as we always say on this podcast, we never got into this to have big, massive multinational brands hand us thousands of pounds, although
it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen because we're gonna manifest it into our reality.
The universe.
But we thought what we'd do, until we get those big sponsorship deals where someone's going to pay us thousands of pounds to talk about their stuff, we will talk about other people's stuff. Businesses that we love, small businesses. We are small business operators ourselves, so we want to support other small businesses. Maybe we've experienced their service, maybe we've eaten there, drunk there.
Or maybe we have worn their
pants.
I'm not very good with light washing, so they might look a bit grey, but they're not.
They turned up in nicer condition than Hayley's. They turned up in like a beautiful box. We should have bought a new box, shouldn't we? And unboxed
for anyone listening, you wouldn't know. So it's Brave Bird pants. bravebird.club if you want to find them online. And you've met Sarah before.
I have met Sarah. She's a lovely, lovely lady.
So the founder, Sarah Oakley, who is a fan of the show. Thank you so much.
Always helps, by the way. If you want to get your stuff shouted out about it, it helps if you stroke our ego.
Yeah, stroke our ego. But also email the show, because I love that.
Yeah.
Because then I've got this like printout and I'm like, this is great. So Sarah wrote to us and said she would love to be considered for a small business shout out. And she says, I created Brave Bird pants. Yes.
This is amazing, by the way.
Actual cotton pants that make you feel brave and supported, and fundraise for women suffering from abuse, violence and addiction. They're just ladies' knickers for now. However, get ready, James. Brave pants for guys is in the pipeline.
No way.
Yeah. I mean, James was going to wear these today, but I was like, maybe not.
To be honest, they're a little bit tight. There wouldn't be a lot of room in there. There would be a lot of... Hang on, sorry.
That was pervy.
Why was that pervy?
It was, wasn't it?
These are tiny pants. How am I not going to...
I'm just so well endowed.
That's not what I said. That's you being
Yeah,
pervy now.
well,
See,
there
this is
you
what
go.
happens. You subconsciously put your negative sexual
So
energy on.
bravebird.club, that's the website.
Link in the show notes.
Link in the show notes.
But did you mention that actually? So they donate the money to. Does it say in there?
It doesn't say
Who
on
they
here,
donate the
but on
money
the
to?
website there is. It's in Bognor Regis, isn't
Yes.
it? And they help women who are fleeing from domestic abuse.
And I believe one of Sarah's very, very good friends was in that situation, and it was that charity. I think it's called My Sister's House.
Oh,
I
yes,
think.
yes.
And they supported her friend, and she was like, "I need to do more for you."
Yeah.
So she's launched Brave Bird pants. And she's got celebrity endorsements.
Yeah, I
Dame
love
Judi
it.
Dent.
Yeah.
She's been wearing them and
I love
shouting out about them. It's
that
amazing
kind
what
of-
they're doing. Amazing.
Also, it's like I hear it a lot, like that kind of like that conscious business. So like instead of saying to someone like, oh, donate here to, give money to a charity, which is great in itself, don't get me wrong, people are actually producing a product that people can buy and use. It means something. It stands for something. They've got a tangible product, but also that money goes to the charity. I just think it's amazing. I
Also,
love it.
every time that you put the pants on,
Yeah.
I haven't put the pants on myself, but I'd imagine every time you see
lie.
them,
Don't lie.
that's why they're stretched.
Let you
Yeah, put your pants on, especially when they're dirty.
Oh, God.
Sorry, that was even by my standards. That was too far. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said about. I mean, when they get dirty, totally.
Anyway,
Anyway.
I've got a question here. So Sarah asked us a question.
Oh, did she?
She gave us two options, and I think we're going to be able to answer the second one better. So number one, tell us about a time in your life where you've had to pull up your brave pants. She said it's quite a deep question. And I was like,
I remember back in the day going to a lot of auditions when we used to be performers, and that every time it never got easier.
yeah,
Every time,
yeah.
whether it was for TV shows or
Yeah, I remember that, and I remember just hating it because I just wasn't.
What was your
I
go-to
wasn't
song?
That good. Oh God, it was like
Umbrella.
A Rihanna. It was like
Rihanna,
no, it wasn't
Umbrella.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was,
what?
Rihanna, like story of my life, searching for the right. And then I remember doing a competition where I sang Charlotte Church.
Crazy Chick.
Yeah. You're driving me. And I just wasn't that good. So, yeah,
What about your MTV audition? What did you do for that?
Oh my gosh. That is so funny. Okay, so
We'll get back to Brave Bird pants in a second. I've just got to cover this off.
This leads in. So this was at school, and then we all got told. Do you remember MTV? It was like Richard Blackwood, and it was like select,
yes.
and it was like you got to go. I don't know. It's like one of these, and I was going to a audition to become like a presenter, basically. So there's just
worked
loads,
out though, didn't it?
It did.
23 years later,
there's loads of
landed a
people. So we
podcast.
turn up, don't really know what you got to do. Anyway, I'm stood in the queue and I start hearing, oh, you've got to stand up and you've got like 2 minutes to do something. I was like, what? There's people like, yeah, I'm singing this or I'm doing that, and I am freaking out.
What did you think you were going to do then?
Well, I thought it was like going to be like a series of auditions. They got us to do a series of tasks and challenges on the day. They didn't say like, oh, you've got to come prepared with something. I'm like, oh my God. So I thought, right, I haven't prepared anything. I'm not the best singer. I've just got to do something funny. And so I stood up in front of a whole room of strangers and all these like producers, and I did a Kate Bush medley in the style of, aha, Alan Partridge. And it was so funny. And I got through to the next round. I didn't get through to the round after that, but I did get through to the next round.
There you go.
It was so funny. I still remember going, wow, wow, babushka, like going across the room. It's like, it's so embarrassing. Anyway, moving on. And question number 2, or you could go for, James is going to jump on this one. How has your underwear changed over the years? Now, for me, I'm going to be honest.
I've got
said
no
that I'm
opinions
going to be
on your
completely
underwear.
transparent on this podcast.
Much
My
like-
underwear looks like, I was going to say like a graveyard. That's just awful, isn't it? It's just so boring. I have not been able to give up my like maternity kind of knickers, those like black, really big.
Don't say
just
maternity
so-
kind of knickers. The actual maternity
Well,
knickers.
yeah, I guess I had bought them after I gave birth. They're so comfy. They're roomy.
Why would you not?
And
why,
I'm
why
like-
do you need room?
Well, no, but they're just like, they just cover everything. They're not like a thong that goes right up your butt. Do you know what I
Why
mean?
do people actually like thinking about it? Why would you wear a thong? Like you've got a piece of like string up your arse.
Because then
like,
you don't
in
get
what-
VPL, babe.
But why would that matter?
Visible panty line.
Who
Panty
decrees that
line.
that matters?
Who decrees?
Who decrees
Who
that
do you
that
think you
matters?
are? Anyway.
I want to fight for
How
pants
has your
equality.
underwear changed, James? I can tell you that it hasn't, because I'm pretty sure James has still got pants in his drawer that
Yep.
you've had since we started going out
Classics.
together.
I
They're
like
so
the ones-
faded. Oh, and also the other thing that James does that is
Here we
so
go.
annoying when he's working out in the gym, as he does. He can't have like pants that he wears in the gym and like nice pants. He just wears his pants for whatever occasion.
No, I don't. I have got pants for.
Well, you end up with just stinky, sweaty pants. Anyway, back to Brave Bird. This is a fantastic charity. So go and check them out at bravebird.club and buy yourself a pair of Brave Bird pants. That is our small business shout out.
Yes, indeed it is. Thank you very much to Sarah for shouting out on the show.
We
and
love you,
asking.
Sarah.
It's brilliant. I bought pants for you,
You did.
and I will buy pants for you again from Brave Bird.
All right, let's you, Len.
That wasn't lechy.
Okay.
It's so that when you put them on, you feel empowered.
Okay.
When you put your gusset on.
I didn't say gusset.
Your
did
roomy
I?
pants.
Moving on.
Your roomy pants. Okay, right. It's what are we moving on to?
Family.
Oh, it's family time. Okay. Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
That wasn't what I was expecting to happen at all. So,
like
as
a
we're
pet.
talking about...
Sorry.
What the fuck are you doing? Anyway, we nearly went on to a different part of the show accidentally a second ago, but we're gonna keep. We've got a couple of new things before the end, so make sure you
Okay.
stick around.
Yeah.
Time management, family. We're talking about time management
Honestly.
today. Time management.
Yeah, I just find just getting through each day just a challenge. Like last night, I was so proud
Dramatic.
of myself because I had a food delivery that turned up at like 7:30 at night. And I was like, oh, haven't I done such a good job of getting organised this week? And I've got food. And then I realised that I haven't really thought about what everyone's eating. And I've bought kind of stuff that's good for me and you. And then I thought, I don't even know what the kids are having tonight. What are we all eating together? And I was like, yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot, isn't there? Time management. Like, how do you manage time when you're like working, then you've got kids to sort out.
Do
then
that banging
you've
the
got
table thing
house.
again.
Sorry. You know, like the washing. It's like never ending washing.
That's just life, though,
Just
isn't it?
life,
But again,
yeah.
it comes down to how many times have we said, right, on a Sunday, we should do the shopping and have a standard
Yeah.
delivery day
Yeah, we
when
do.
stuff comes. You know, if you're in the financial position to, get yourself a cleaner.
Because I've literally, yeah, we're not, but yeah.
You know, things
Why
like,
not?
you know, if your car's a mess, take it to the car wash. Like, don't spend your
Yeah,
time.
but do you know
don't
what? That's
spend the-
like gone from like 12
It's
quid to like
fucking
25
expensive, yeah.
quid.
But don't spend your time. And this is all dependent on what you can earn
Yeah.
potentially, right?
Yeah.
Don't spend if you can go and earn 100 quid an hour, 200 quid an hour, 300 quid an hour. Don't spend your time on £10 an hour tasks. But
Yeah.
I've heard that a lot from sort of like, you know, like wealth management training stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know, hand out the £10 an hour task, but they don't actually tell you what you should be doing with your
Yeah.
time to make up for
It
it.
is an interesting one because like I come from a family who like would never in a million years dream of ever paying for a cleaner. I don't even think my mum and dad don't even have like a dishwasher. Like they're like
No.
they're not bothered.
Your dad is the dishwasher.
But like for me,
your mum's got
sometimes
one.
like last
It's your
night
dad.
I was out all day with the kids and I got back late and then I had some work bits I had to jump on. Although I'm trying not to work
Urgent.
in the
They're urgent
evenings,
because the client messaged.
but I had to jump on and do them. And there's like washing up, and I've got to get it done. But I was like, I honestly do not have the time to stand there and do the washing up, and then it's just sat there. And I think, yeah, I guess if I had the money and I could help someone who that's what they did for their job, to come in and do all of that, I think, yeah, that would be amazing. But then there's also a flip side of like I like the thought of like cooking and doing all that and providing. But yeah, to be fair, if someone came in and was like, I'm going to do all of your cleaning, your washing, prepare some meals, oh, I'd love it.
We basically need an au pair or a nanny.
No, an au pair is like more for the kids, isn't it? We need it for us.
Yeah, but like we need an adult au pair.
We need an adult au pair.
We need adult
to sort
babysitting.
out. But yeah, I don't know. I just find it's just a juggle, isn't it? I see it when you're dropping the kids off. Like every parent just looks like they're just rushing to get somewhere.
The ones who work uptown.
Yeah,
who, like run back
rush
to the
get
car.
A train or
yeah.
like just like shipping, like pushing the kids into school. Yeah, I don't know.
I think the main message of this podcast, especially with time management, especially if you're running a business and or a family, you're not alone. That whole thing of like running out of time, that whole thing of getting to the end of the day and being fucking exhausted. Yeah. Like even on the weekend, being like, oh my God, I haven't done anything today apart from just like keep the kids alive.
And we get to the weekends, don't we? And we end up having to like clean the house and catch up on all the housework, the gardening. And it's like,
honestly,
you say it,
the amount of gardening that you get,
well, I don't
get onto.
So I'm not into the garden. I want the garden to look nice. I just don't want to have any part in making it look nice.
Fair enough.
I'm very honest with that.
I would have not bothered either had your dad not turned up, and then you feel guilty because you can't have a pensioner.
And you go out there and just like hack it down, and it just looks awful.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you've done out there. I'm looking at it now, just like I don't know what you've done.
I hacked it. I got a set of what they call them, secateurs.
The holly bush.
I just battered it.
This lovely big holly bush. All right, it was in a bit of an annoying place, but now it's just it's not even gone. It's just a stick with like one holly leaf on it.
You're welcome.
But yeah, I think, like you say, time, it evaporates. There never seems to be enough hours in the day, although I know we all have the same. So I think all I'm going to say on this bit for family is like, let's just not be so hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot going on. We live in a world now where we want to have careers, we want to have family, we want to have a social life.
We want it all. Yeah.
I want it all.
And I want it now. But you can put some simple stuff in place.
Yeah.
You know, like why don't we, let's call ourselves out here.
Yeah.
Why don't we, on a Sunday, we have a standard day that the shopping turns on a Wednesday. Wednesday morning, the shopping comes and we book it we do it over the weekend.
Deal. You're gonna be proactive on that, are you?
I'm going to be very proactive on that.
And also, I think let's make a goal that if we ever get to the point where we've got a bit of extra cash, we're going to get in a cleaner because it's going to link into our next section, me and cleaning.
Right. So, guys, this next section, which is brand new to the podcast, I need to share this with you as a way of, I guess, sharing the burden more than anything, because a lot of this stuff is fucking ridiculous. This section is now called Hayley's Ailments.
I think this is unfair.
This is not unfair. Dun, dun, dun. I would say every day, pretty much every day, at least every week, Hayley has a ridiculous ailment, injury, issue, problem, and it's so ridiculous. I think it needs sharing with people on the podcast, because maybe you live with a clumsy partner.
Would it be
maybe
called
you
a
are
hypochondriac?
Yeah, you're 100% a hypochondriac.
Mm.
She also does that thing where whatever happens, she Googles it, and the result of Googling any ailment is that you're dying of cancer. Like, that's it.
So the other day, I was picking something up behind this little IKEA toy kitchen in the kitchen, and that's distracting me, that music. Can we turn it off? And sorry, I was like, sometimes I just can't think. So I bent down because I saw something was behind it.
Back in the day, I'd have been all over that. Well, I'm not now. No. Don't even want to talk about it. Go on.
So I bent down.
Yeah, you did.
To get what was behind. And as I come up, we've got like kitchen cupboards. And I absolutely
you tried your head on that?
My head. Now the sympathy
Oh, yeah,
comes.
no, I didn't realise that.
What do you think it was?
I thought you banged your head on the little kitchen thing. I'm like, it's made of fucking plywood.
No,
soft
I stood up. Whacked my head on that. I've still got the bruise.
Okay.
It really hurt. So I sat down because I thought, oh my God, I'm in the house by myself. Am I going to black out and faint? So then I sit there and I'm like, okay, I think I'm all
gathering
right.
herself from the
injury. And then later that day, I'm like, I feel a bit nasally. I feel a bit like sinusy, and it sounds rank, but you can like feel that kind of like mucusy feeling in your nose. So I Google it, like I hit my head, and now like my sinuses, I can like I feel them. What
did you think it was?
And then it basically said that after a traumatic head injury, the membrane that protects the brain can actually start leaking, and cause like your sinuses.
So I walked in.
So I think I've got a leaking brain.
So I walked in after Hayley tapped her head on the cupboard.
Didn't tap my head. It's still bruised.
And she turns around to me and says, "Oh, I banged my head." This is the other thing she does.
I think
She's
because
so dramatic.
you're so not
so hard.
sympathetic, I overdo it.
Of course you overdo it. So I walk in. I think I'm going to get a migraine.
I didn't say that.
I think I'm going to get a migraine.
I didn't say that.
What's wrong? Bang my head, really badly bang my head. I think I've got a bleed on the brain or my brain juice.
I didn't say bleed on the brain.
You said, I think my brain juice is coming out my nose. That's your actual word. You said, I think my brain juice is coming out of my nose.
And I can't think straight today, so who knows what I lost overnight. But the reason that James thinks this is such a good idea,
is an ongoing thing. Like one time you'd be like, okay, fine. Like
I have a lot of issues, don't I? I do have a lot of issues, but the two main ones.
And the reason why we use the casualty
James
theme.
was like, we have to do this because we're talking about household
This will
cleaning.
be every week. You will hear about this bullshit.
The
every
reason that I would love to get a cleaner is because I have had some ridiculous injuries in my time. So one time I was making the bed, and you get the fitted sheets, and the mattress is quite heavy, and you're trying to sort of like put the sheet over. Who knew you can get ones that are extra deep? I know that now. I didn't know it back then. No banter there.
No.
We haven't had a dad joke for a while either.
No, I'm gonna
Anyway.
bring it out when I need to.
So I started making the bed, and all of a sudden I kind of like just felt my finger ping, and this middle finger, if you're watching, was just like that. It wouldn't stay up. It just kept bending down, and I was like, "Oh my god!" So imagine it being almost like a spring, and it's just pulled down, and I've just got a wonky finger. So I have to go to the hospital. Do you remember?
Yes.
And it turns out I had a thing called mallet finger. So I had to have a splint put on my finger for 3 months. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And we were going to see
Used
our
to
friends
stink,
Rob and
didn't it?
Nay.
Do you remember?
Shout out to Rob and Nay in Swindon. And
we were late going.
and
Because of
I was
mallet
like,
finger.
yeah, it's going to be a bit late. So just at the hospital. And then I've just got this picture of me with a splint on and a mallet finger.
Yeah.
And that was from making the bed.
So that was one of you, but still, I know what you're thinking.
And I've got
right,
a
she's
finger
got
now.
Yeah, but see, I'm leaving it. You might be thinking, surely this is the most ridiculous injury. A bleed on the brain from banging her head on the cupboard and thinking that the snot coming out of her nose is a brain fluid. Mallet finger. But, my friend, that is not the stupidest injury that Hayley's ever had, which is why Hayley's ailments is going to be a weekly occurrence. Tell them the stupidest injury that you've ever, or the most ridiculous incident that has ever occurred.
This is going back
As
years ago.
as a British taxpayer, I can only apologise for what you're about to hear.
I remember being in, I guess it was in the flat.
We were in the
then,
flat.
And I was like proper cleaning. Like when I clean,
here we
like
go.
James is
Oh,
good at a
God.
bit of surface level. Like if I'm doing it, I'm doing it.
She gives it so much
And
about
I
this.
remember going round
But
on
when
my
I clean, I
hands
really
and
clean.
knees with like, just the end bit of the Hoover. And I went round the whole flat doing that, like getting all the carpet. Anyway, a couple of days later, I was working in theatre management then, and I'm sat in the office and I was like, I'm in so much pain. Like my back hurts. I don't know what's going
She
on.
basically had DOMS. She had delayed onset of muscular strain
So
from
I then
hoovering.
had to phone in sick the next day because I was in so much pain. And then that night, honestly, if I breathed in, it was like horrific pain. I thought I was having a heart attack.
She woke me up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Babe, I think I'm having a heart attack. I can't breathe.
James,
I think I had a heart attack.
James phoned an ambulance.
Because she was telling me, she's like, it's my heart.
No,
it's
maybe
my
we
heart.
phoned 111 and they were like, you need an ambulance.
Yeah, as soon as you mention heartbeat,
So
then
these
they're like,
guys come out and I'm in like my nighty. I'm like, so just like,
with the blue lights on.
I'm in
An
so
emergency
much-
999 ambulance is now
I'm in
attending
so much pain.
a fucking
and
hoovering incident.
they did all their tests and then they wrote this report and they were like, here you go. I was like, what is it? They're like, you've pulled a muscle in your back. You've pulled a muscle in your back. And on the report, I'll have to find it. And it just said, injury due to household cleaning.
Strenuous household cleaning.
And that was it. So I literally had an ambulance out because I pulled a muscle in my back. And do you know what they gave me, the medication? Paracetamol.
Paracetamol. I remember I went to the shop at 3 o'clock in the morning to get some. I'll get some ibuprofen rub.
Yeah.
And some ibuprofen, and she should be fine. She'll pull through.
Honestly, it was, yeah. So,
Absolutely ridiculous.
but I don't know. I just have a lot of things. I feel a lot of things each day, and I just feel like, why not talk about these things?
Yeah, share it.
You know,
Share-
like if I
share
eat
the
mince now,
pain.
who knew? If I eat mince, it makes me feel dreadful. So I'm happy to share.
Yeah, if
I'm
you're
happy to
happy
share.
to hear about this, please do let us know. If you've also got maybe a ridiculous injury, we'd love to know about it. You can get in on the Hayley's Ailment Weekly section.
Yeah, tell us about your injury. Any funny
Not
funny
serious ones. We
stories.
don't want serious
Nah,
ones.
Nah. Like when James went to a gym and he smashed his finger in between two weights and severed his finger. That was funny, wasn't it?
No.
When I was heavily pregnant.
I knew 100% you're about to turn it back on how it
Bringing it back to
affected
me.
you.
Yeah, it did affect me.
I'm actually classed as a partial amputee still.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, remember our friend had to take you to get your finger sewed back,
Sewn
on,
back on.
like, was it like the day before Christmas or something?
It's still like a bit weird,
Oh,
isn't it? It's
actually
all a bit.
disgusting.
It's all a bit twisted.
Oh, your fingers are really weird.
What do you mean my
Look,
fingers
like
are
your
really
nail,
weird?
like the way the skin goes over the nail.
Yeah, because it's
Oh.
partially amputated. Look, it's got
Oh,
all
that
across
makes
the
me
back
feel
there.
sick. Take it away, Lechy
Take my
Les.
strong hand.
Take it away.
Take my strong
Right,
hand.
let's have a dad joke before we go.
Oh,
into
quick!
our-
Yeah. Okay, right. Hang on,
next section.
because I can't have Hayley being the funniest one. What did the police officer say to his belly button? You're under arrest. You like that, don't you? Right, time for our next new section, which is called Who's the Mug? Who's the Mug? Right. The backstory to this is that it's the soundtrack
Couldn't
to
hear it properly
Ebenezer.
then.
Is that the problem?
Have you muted me? I couldn't hear it.
Oh, hang on a second, fucking
No, carry on.
Alan Partridge.
Aha!
Guys, I can't hear myself with my cans. Guys, I can't hear myself with my
Done.
cans.
Done.
Hayley likes Alan Partridge if you haven't
I
picked
love
that up
Alan
yet. But the next section has theme music which goes to the style of Ebenezer Good. But Hayley's been like actually wanted to practice how it would sound like. So
Who's the mug? Who's the mug? Have you been a mug?
So how difficult is that? So you're right. You ready? Go.
Go.
Who's the mug?
Who's the mug?
How are you fucking this up? Wait for the drum roll. Digga-digga-digga-digga-digga.
Oh, right, okay, go.
Who's the mug? Who's the mug? Have you been a mug? Who's the mug? Who's the mug?
So,
Why are you a weird
sometimes
seal?
on this podcast, there's going to be things that we think's funny, and then it turns out it's
not.
actually not.
Yeah.
But we love drinking tea. We haven't got a cup of tea. So it's not a very good effort. But we thought, we had the partner battles where we can help you solve your battles, or between husband and wife, partners, whoever. And then we thought, but sometimes it's good to just share when you've just been a bit of a mug.
Or someone else has been a
Yeah,
mug.
maybe you want to call someone out being a mug. Often me and James will have things that I've got one that I can share. So we thought we're going to start a section called Who's a Mug? Who's a Mug?
Who's a mug? Who's a mug?
We did it. It's
called Who's a Mug.
And we're actually going to get, this is exciting. This is really exciting.
Guys, get
We're
excited.
actually going to get business,
Branded
marriage,
mugs.
mugs. Just talk over me. This is so silly.
Have you been a mug?
So the idea is, if you are chosen, if you send us in something that you feel like you just want to admit that you was a bit of a mug
Bit of a
about,
mug.
or someone was a bit of a mug. Can we say mug? We're saying it.
Yeah, of course you can.
We want a picture of you because we're going to make it look like a what do you call it? Like a mugshot. And then
Oh, I didn't know
if
we're
we
doing
read
that.
it
That's
out,
good, yeah,
if we
nice.
read it out, we're also going to send you your very own branded business marriage mug.
Can't believe it. Can't believe it. Hopefully you live in the UK.
Big cup of laughter.
Big cup of laughter. There
So
you go.
please email the show hello@businessmarriagepod.com if you've been a mug or someone's been a mug. So this is something that I did, was a bit muggy if I look back at it. So
Here's the thing, right? If you suggest someone as a mug,
Yeah.
we'll set. I'm just doing this live.
Yeah.
We'll send out 2 mugs. You get a mug, and the mug gets
My
a mug.
God.
Double mug.
We better get working to pay for them.
Double mug.
Not cheap, it turns out. So this was a bit muggy on my part. Okay, so, and it does link a
this
bit
was
into
brilliant.
time management. Do you
This
know?
is
How do you know? Okay,
I've seen
so
it.
I'm at home with the kids. I'm like, right, we need a bath. Like, it's bath time. So Louis like, well, I'm just going to run up. So he runs up, and I always say to him, don't run the bath, because you think, if they put the hot water on, they hurt themselves. So I get up there, and Louis has started running the bath, but he's basically run, and our bath runs really quickly. Too much information. But it's like half a bath is like a cold water, and he's got a balloon, like a had like 6 years old balloon, and he's put it in the
Balloon
bath.
like a balloon.
I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I just wanted to see what it looked like. Like, I just wanted to put the balloon in there. I said, but you've run a whole, like, half a bath. So now I've got to take the water out, put hot water in, which is a waste. So I'm annoyed.
Can you not just top up the hot
No,
water?
So I'm annoyed. It'd be too deep. So I'm annoyed.
Fuming.
So I take it out. So I put it in the sink. And then I turn around, and I don't know why, it just really annoyed me. He then put the tap on in the sink, and it was like hitting the balloon and like splashing everywhere. You know what I did? In that moment, I was just so annoying that you're wasting my time. I got the balloon, and with my hands just looked him in the eye, and I just squeezed it, and then it just burst. And he looked at me and he went, "That was my number 6 balloon," and I was like,
So you just fully
I just
bursted it
burst
with
it
your bare
in your
hands
face.
in front of his face.
And then it sounds silly, it's a balloon. It didn't take that much force,
What a
but there
mug.
was a moment of like,
No. You're a mug. You're a mug.
I've
Blue
been a
mug.
What?
Blew up for the balloon and mug.
Balloon mug. And
So it
after
didn't
I
work.
thought, I'm really sorry, Louis. I don't know why I did that. I said I just, in the moment, got really annoyed, and I burst your balloon. I've been a mug.
So do I have to send you a mug now?
I'll just make one for myself.
You're a mug. You're a mug. Burst balloon's a mug. You're a mug. You're a mug.
I hope people find this funny,
I
because
do.
if it's not, oh,
I was going to see if I could add anything to that section, but I have. I've been pretty fantastic this week. I've not been muggy at all.
I'm annoyed because I actually can't think of anything. It's
There you
bound
go.
to be.
Nothing.
I think it was me
Nothing.
then.
Nothing.
It's always me, isn't it?
So yeah, click the link in the show notes, or you can email hello@businessmarriagepod.com, and you can either suggest yourself as a mug and get a free mug, or you can suggest somebody else as a mug and they get a mug and you get a mug. Double mug.
Yeah, mug. Or maybe you've
So-
been mugged off. Could you say mugged off?
I guess you could do. Anyway, wrapping this show up, time management. What we would like to do at the final part of today's show is to make sure you don't leave with all of this
all this
magical
gold.
information, of which we've basically gone, you're shit at time management, I'm a bit shit at time management. What have we got to give to
snapped
people?
a balloon, burst. Snap a balloon.
Don't snap a balloon, do you? You burst
We've
one.
said you're a mug. We've talked about me, mallet finger. You know, but
Me being a
hey,
lech.
we said it's just escapism, right?
It is escapism. Yeah, we never promised
No.
useful information, but maybe there has been something within the time management section that we talked about earlier. You're like, do you know what? That is kind of useful.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do, in fact, let's coach each other here.
Okay, yeah.
We're going to
All
give
right.
each other a couple of time management hacks in under 30 seconds that the other one has to
Oh
deploy.
no, not a
Go.
time limit. Don't
Go.
have a go at me for jumping on projects when you say, Hayley, I just need you to do a 30-page document for me and I need it by tomorrow. Don't do that anymore because it's annoying. Don't tell me that you're leaving the office.
Hang on. You're making out that's like a regular occurrence. I asked you to do to the point where...
Do you, when I do work for you,
Yep.
have you ever given me something to do that I haven't needed to do? Like,
Ever told
ASAP.
you lately that
Have
I
I?
love you? Probably not.
no. Carry on. Music. Don't text me and say I'm leaving the office.
By the way, this is supposed to be like supportive
This is
advice,
supportive.
not like, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. We've talked about this on the podcast before. You get in at a 7 and you're just there.
I'm there. Carry on.
Change your tone.
Okay.
Put your little pointy
James.
finger away.
James.
Do that thing the politicians
when
do.
you're working
Point with your
late
knuckle.
and
Point
you
with your knuckle.
say, Hayley, I'm leaving now. Don't then phone me half an hour later to say, I'm just leaving the office.
So you
Because
do
I'm
that.
sat there going, I thought you were fucking halfway home. So don't do that.
Okay. Anything else? Still pointing at me, by the way. It's very passive aggressive.
Just don't get the kids all excited in the morning because it's hard to get them out of the door anyway, and then you just add an extra layer of like hardness and
I'm sorry, but you absolutely asked for that. Right, brilliant. So I need to be less fun, be less demanding.
be less fun.
Yep.
Don't tell me not to do something for other clients and then expect me to do it for you.
What do I tell you
As
to
in
not
if
do
you
for
say
other
like,
clients?
oh, you shouldn't like, you know, you can't expect people give you something last minute.
Yeah, but that's because you're not getting yourself out of the cycle of
But
last
you're
minute.
one of the little issues of that. Anyway. And don't tell me you've left the office if you haven't.
Okay,
and also,
fantastic.
actually, on another note, before we move on, what you also do is you say, I'm leaving the office. I'm like, okay, cool, great. See you soon. And then 20 minutes later, if you have actually left when you said, you then phone me for like a conversation because you're obviously bored in the car. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to you. I'm going to see you in like half an hour. Like, go away. Anyway.
Well, I'd like to check in on you.
Maybe that wasn't as helpful.
No, it wasn't. It was just you slagging me off.
Okay, let me just backtrack on that.
I'm going to give you some
Yeah,
tips
go
and
for
advice.
it.
So what I'd suggest that you do is for the next week, actually incrementally every 15 minutes, write down what you've actually spent your time doing, not what the fuck you think you spent your time doing. Even have like a little timer. You know that fucking bullshit strawberry timer that you've got for yourself?
Me?
Never used it. I suggest you use it. Set it for 15 minutes.
I love it.
You don't use it, so it's ineffective, isn't it, in its application? The other thing that I'd do is maybe everything that you think it's going to take in terms of a client project, times that by 75, and you're probably getting closer to the actual time it's going to take.
Don't know how I feel about that.
What? Facts? You don't like facts?
I feel we've left it on a bit of a downer
Sour note.
today. Yeah,
sour note.
Sour.
I don't mind leaving it on a sour note.
I think we need a dad joke. My stomach, can you hear my stomach?
I can't. I'm so hungry.
I'm so hungry. It's like we haven't eaten.
Okay, final dad joke. Hopefully you're going to enjoy this one. So here we go.
Just do a few.
How do you get a country girl's attention? You attract her.
Okay. Yeah.
Why are elevator jokes so good?
I don't know.
Because they work on many levels.
You don't.
What's brown and sticky?
Baron. What?
What's brown and sticky?
Oh.
A stick. And final one from this section.
I know something else is brown and sticky. Anyway, moving on. That could be linked to my ailments.
What do you... You're disgusting. What do you call a group of apes that start a company?
Phonic. I'm joking. You know what you're doing,
Monkey
really.
business.
Oh.
Can't believe it.
I love it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, love it.
Love you, babe.
Yeah, whatever. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Thank
This
you.
has been Business Marriage. I don't know where my final jingle's gone.
Oh,
Like, what's actually
no.
happened to my jingle? Oh, I found them. There you go. There's my final jingles. Hopefully you found this moderately entertaining. Definitely not useful. Your hands are so cold, like the feel of a dead corpse.
Why is it we always talk about our hands being cold or clammy?
Because they're always cold and clammy.
Can we also just say, like, I just want to say to you, you've tried really hard today to be funny, but you're just not.
If you've enjoyed this week's episode, please feel free to leave us some form of rating review. You can rate or review this podcast on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you prefer to watch your podcast rather than just listen, you can click the link in the show notes. If you're listening to this podcast, then you can go and watch it on our official YouTube channel, which had 7,000 views in a week.
That's a lot, isn't it?
We're big in the game, I'm telling you.
Wow.
Information soon to come as well about Business Marriage Live. Stay tuned for that. There's lots of exciting stuff going on. And again, genuinely, if you have got this far, thank you for taking the time to listen. We love you very much. We love doing this podcast, and we hope that you've got something moderately fucking useful out of it.
Yeah.
We'll be back again next week for the next instalment of Business Marriage.
Remember,
Business.
tell us if you've been a mug.
Marriage. Email in hello@businessmarriagepod.com. Have you been a mug? Have you been a mug? Bye.
This show is a Phonic Media production.